Hey team, welcome back to my channel. The source code for this video is available on my GitHub account. Let us look at our first for loop example. Notice I say for I in. Now look at this range. That is called a half open range where the first number is considered the start, the end. Now this range includes the start value but excludes the end value. Here you can see the output where I begin with 0 and I finish with 9. In this example, sometimes when we have a for loop, we don't want to execute all of the range. Sometimes we want to get out early, and we get out early by using the break statement. So notice here, I'm sending in an index, and I said, let that index equal 5. So as I'm looping around that, remember I start at 0, and I say 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now when I equals 5, I'm going to say exit loop at index 5. Here you can see the output of that run. Here you can see I'm using a half open range again with start to end. Remember, I will not be using the end position. And then I just loop over this until I'm done, but I'll be going in reverse order. Here's the output. Look, I go from 9 to 0. In example 4, notice that we're going to be using the endpoints. Notice the output goes from 6 to 10. So I say 6 ... and then equals 10 said include this number as part of my range. That's example 4. In example number 5, notice I'm going to be using the step by function. So our range is from 6 to 10. Notice that we're going to include 10. We're going to step by 2. Notice the output. I begin with 6, I increment by 2. So that's 6, 8, 10. You got it. Notice in example 6, we're starting with 6 and we're going up to 10. We're going to include it. Then I'm going to reverse that data, and then I'm going to say step by 2. Notice my output is 10, 8, 6. It's just in reverse, stepped by 2. You got it. In example 7, we're going to learn how to use the continue keyword. Now the continue keyword, all it does is it stops execution and returns up to the for statement. So you can see here that I'm going to start with 1 and I'm going to go to and include 10. Now for that I value, I'm going to say I mod 2. I'm just trying to get the remainder. Now if the remainder is 1, well that kind of means the number is odd. So I'm going to come in here to continue. Continue says, hey, let's do not continue this, but let's return up to line 5 and re-execute the for statement. Now of course it's going to increment I to the next value, which will be maybe 4, and then 4 mod 2 is 0, so it doesn't execute this branch, and then it will execute the print line. You can see the output here. I only get the even values, and that's the continue keyword. In example 8, use filter. Notice we begin by using a closed range. Notice I'm going to be using 0 to 10. I'm going to be going through there one number at a time. And notice we're going to be using filter. Now filter will be using an anonymous function to get the value of x, just borrowing it. And I'm going to say if that x mod 2 is 0, that means is it even? If it is even, I'm going to print out the even number and whatever that current value of I is. And that's pretty much it. Notice here the output, I have numbers 0 to 10, they are even. In example 9, use enumerate. Notice I'm using a closed range. I'll be using all numbers between 0 and 20. I then step it by 2. And notice when I say enumerate, notice that I get not only the value, but I get the index position. Here you can see the output. So the index position begins at index sub 0 and works its way to 10 in each of the corresponding values. There you have use enumerate.